I want to talk about how you actively deal with a twin flame separation. I feel like I'm in a harder part of this journey than I was previously because when you stop running and you actually face your wounds and you do that deep, deep shadow work, it's excruciating. A part of my healing that took place earlier this week, and I was forced to remember when I first got my mother wound of being unchosen. Now, I feel like both my parents didn't choose me. However, my mother's part of that was she actively put other people before me. Of course, this wasn't intentional with neither parent, I don't believe. I believe they both loved me to the best of their ability, but they were from very different times. Growing up, during civil rights in the South, they had much different expectations of life. They had different priorities. They honestly couldn't prioritize emotional and mental well being because they had to prioritize physical safety. They had to prioritize survival. But even as I listened to myself explaining this, right? Yes, it is true. It's objectively true, everything I just said. However, it's worth questioning, why do I feel the need to go into that each and every time I bring up how they hurt me, how they wounded me? It's still coming from a place of not wanting to truly face the magnitude of the wounds that they gave me. It's wanting to defend them, wanting to keep them on this pedestal, because somehow, if I keep them on a pedestal and I intellectualize why they did what they did, why they were who they were, then the pain won't hurt as bad of feeling unseen, unchosen, unloved. And I see that now. I'm consciously aware of it, and I'm so proud of myself because it was very painful to actually face. For those of you that don't know, my parents died a long time ago now. My father died when I was 16. My mother died when I was 21. I've been without them for quite some time. But the reparenting of your inner child, that lasts a lifetime. The healing, the unlearning that you have to do from the wounds and the trauma you experienced from childhood, depending on how traumatized you were, that can take a very, very long time. And that's nothing to be discouraged about. Healing doesn't have to be this terrible ordeal that lasts forever. You can still find joy in the healing. Feeling those feelings is going to hurt. Yes, it is. But if you allow that hurt, you recognize it, you can feel it and you can begin to move past it. And you can begin to reacclimate to joy and peace and inner harmony. It's through feeling that pain that you can actually let it go. So, the moment that I'm referencing when I was faced with this original pain again, and I say original pain because it truly felt like I was that little girl again that was fighting to be seen, fighting to be chosen, fighting to be considered in my parents' lives. It hurt so badly. I mean, it was a visceral pain because I hadn't felt that in so many years. Spirit showed me how I've been recreating dynamics in my romantic partners that constantly played out in one way or another, and oftentimes in the exact same way over and over and over again with these different people in different situations. It played out me not being chosen. or me being the last choice, or me being the difficult choice, the one that someone has to make begrudgingly. And so my twin highlighted this for me recently. And oh, it was painful. It was painful because if no one chooses you, your twin chooses you, right? The one that you're telepathically connected to, the one that sees your soul. But the truth of the matter is that no one, including your twin, including yourself, no one can truly choose another person if they don't first choose themselves. My twin is wrapped up in his own mental agony of a sense of duty, a sense of obligation, trying to be a good man, trying to do the right thing by all parties, right? And this is common for the divine masculine energy. This is very common. All of them go through this final ego death where spirit asks them, what do you choose? Do you choose your ancestral karma, a life of obligation, duty, lifeless existence for the sake of others, this martyrdom? Or do you choose love, freedom, peace, and joy? And for a long time, the masculine that hasn't fully awakened to his own power, he will choose the martyrdom because that feels like love to him. That's what was shown to him as a child, either explicitly or implicitly. Sacrificing yourself, sacrificing what you need, sacrificing what you want is the right thing to do. This is how you become a man, through nobility, through service. And it takes a long time to see that that actually comes from a wound of, you guessed it, not being chosen. The same one the divine feminine is dealing with in her own way. This martyrdom comes from a wound of never being chosen and wanting to be chosen, so you will do whatever it takes to be chosen, even if that means sacrificing yourself. It takes a while for them to see this. So in the meantime, what they do during the separation is they push the divine feminine away. I can't have her yet because I still have this going on. I need to figure this out. I need to resolve this. I'm not worthy to come to her. It takes too much to come to her. It's too intense. It's too much. It's too complicated. There's so many things they tell themselves. Just not right now. Let me get this together. God, please fix this for me. That's another one. You ask God to fix it. He will convince himself he's waiting on God. And the whole time, God is waiting on him. God is saying, only you have the power to fix this. Only you can stand up and say, actually, I'm going to choose the path of self-love, even if it looks like selfishness from the outside. I finally understand that only through loving myself and putting myself first can I see what's clearly there. Can I see the truth, not through the lens of my wound? And then can I truly be what I need to be to other people? This isn't about forsaking responsibilities. This isn't about excusing a man that doesn't want to step up to the plate and handle his responsibilities of life. On the contrary, this is a man that does exactly that, but he does it through love and alignment, not self-punishment, not martyrdom, not through grief and self-denial of your basic human needs. That's not love, that's a wound. But it takes an immense ego death to see that. And it can't happen all at one time. So back to the beginning where I said, I want to talk about the practical ways to get through separation. Yeah, this right here, this is the part of separation that hurts like hell. When it's not just that you're apart from the person you love, it's that you are dying. You are dying to things that you thought were a part of you. The way you see the world is shifting, and you realize you've been looking through the lens of your wound for so long that you interpreted everything through it, and it wasn't even the truth. Because even though our parents and our caregivers might have made us feel unseen, unchosen, and unloved, the truth is we were always chosen. We were always loved. We were seen. We are worthy. We always have been worthy. We let, as children, someone else's incapacity, their inability to be able to choose themselves or to choose you, we let that determine if we were worthy to be chosen. Those are two separate things. We were always worthy. We're worthy because we're here. You didn't just spawn here. You decided to be here at this time, in this body, in this day and age. You're healing something integral to your ancestral bloodline. You're carrying out an intergalactic mission. This is real. This is how energy balances itself. This is how the earth rises back to her rightful place. It's through everyday people, aka star seeds in disguise, doing this hard, grueling inner work. You cannot get to reunion unless you go past this. Because the smaller wounds, and believe me, I know they don't feel small when you're going through it. But when you first separate and you're going through those smaller wounds, that's a lot easier to handle. It doesn't feel like it in the moment. But once you get to the other side of it, to the harder ones, you're going to be like, yeah, that actually wasn't so bad. But these harder ones, as much as it hurts, it feels so good to finally have closed a karmic pattern today with this not being chosen. The most practical thing you can do to get through this separation, especially at this point in the game, is understand what neutrality and detachment really means. There's a lot of different theories out here. There's a lot of different interpretations. I'm going to share what's working for me and what I've seen work for others. Detachment is not abandonment. Detachment is not saying I don't care anymore. Whatever will be, right? No, that's not real detachment. Detachment is not numbness. It's not pretending like you don't feel anything. Detachment is this. This is what I want. I trust that the universe will bring it to me. But even if it doesn't come, I trust that the universe will bring me something better. You're not saying that you don't want what you want. You're being honest and upfront about what you want. You're setting your intention. You're living life assuming that this is already true in your reality. But on the flip side, you're saying, universe, if there's something better, if there's something more aligned, if by chance there's still some wounding in me to where I'm not asking for my highest good, I give you the opportunity, the flexibility, and the approval to bring me what I actually want. That's detachment. Neutrality follows in the same vein. Neutrality means that you're not allowing your emotions to govern how much focused attention and energy you're pouring into something. Your emotions are going to go up and down, up and down, up and down for the rest of your life. You're going to feel happy, you're going to feel sad, and everything in between. Neutrality says, I feel my emotions, but I am not my emotions. I see, I hear, I witness my thoughts, but I am not my thoughts. I am the witness. I am the observer. I am the consciousness behind this life. So if you feel sad, you're missing your twin, you're feeling left out and abandoned, and all the bad feelings that we feel during the separation, neutrality says, I'm feeling sad. Let me comfort myself. Let me come home to myself. Am I in the past? Am I in the future? Or am I just experiencing an emotion in the present? Let me pour my consciousness here to a certain degree to see what's going on. And then when I see what's going on, when I allow myself to feel, I don't tell myself that it means anything that I had that feeling. This is the key point, collective. This is neutrality. Neutrality says the fact that I feel sad means nothing. When you're not in neutrality and you're riding these highs and lows as if you truly are higher or lower in vibe and frequency, you begin to believe that if you feel bad one day, that means you're doing bad. That means you're not going to get your manifestation. That means you must have dropped your frequency. You must not have enough faith. You begin narrating to yourself what this all means, giving everything meaning. And most times it's going to point to the lack of what you want, aka this separation. Neutrality says, nope, nope. I feel sad. I miss him. I miss her. But I allow myself to feel it and then I let it go. I come back to the present where I'm totally safe. I'm totally fine. I'm here with me. My life is actually good. I have a lot of reasons to smile because all those things are true. Now, if those things are not true, if you spend all your time thinking about your twin and none of your time actually building up your own life to where you can say that, then you have a bigger problem before you ever can get to neutrality. You're not going to be able to be neutral because you're missing the key theme of this separation. It's to get your life where it needs to be in order to hold a love like a twin flame without crashing and burning. And I don't mean get your life where it needs to be with a bunch of external things that you need to do. Get your inner world where it needs to be. Your mindset, your emotional landscape, your ability to remain detached and in neutrality. Now, when you detach and become neutral, this is not a fixed position. You might have to do this 60 times a day at first. This is not easy. You've never been here before, and to be here with something that means so much to you as a twin flame journey, that is not easy. It's going to take practice. It's going to take dedicated effort. You can tell when you're falling out of these things when you're constantly checking your twin flame's energy. You're constantly checking, do I feel him? Do I feel her? How are they feeling? What are they doing? What are they thinking? What are they thinking about me? Are they missing me? Are they thinking about me? When you start overthinking, oh my God, I hate how my life is right now. Why can't things just be XYZ? Why is such and such here? Why am I going through this? Why don't I have enough money? Why don't I blah, 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 blah? Why haven't I healed yet? Like overthinking, when you start identifying with your feelings, I'm not worthy. I'm not ready for this. I can't do this. I'm overwhelmed. And you start tying these things together with where you are in your twin flame journey. Why would they want me? They're not ever going to want me. Look at all this shit that I'm dealing with and going through. Or they're not ever going to choose me. I'm going to be waiting forever. This isn't going to work out. I might as well leave. There's no point in wasting time with the person that's never going to choose you. He's stuck. She's stuck. You know, when you start hearing this type of discourse in your brain, this is letting you know that you've slipped out of neutrality. Now you're placing importance on the future or the past. You've slipped out of the present moment, and now you're thinking about the future. They're never going to choose me. Or you're thinking about the past. They didn't choose me. You are no longer detached, and now you're gripping for that attachment. I want to feel them. I want to hear them. I want to talk to them so bad. Why won't they talk to me? You're gripping now. Let me tell you, these things are not bad. This is not the end of the world because you slipped out of neutrality and detachment into inflated potential or inflated importance, I should say. I'm sorry. And attachment. This is not the end of the world, baby. You can slip in and out all day. The important thing is that you consistently come back to your baseline. You're a human being. You are not a goddamn soldier. You're not fucking RoboCop to where you don't feel how hard this shit is. Yes, you have bad days. Yes, you get pissed with your twin. Yes, you get pissed with this journey and you don't want to do it anymore. And you're tired of feeling like shit and having to go through all this mental bullshit. That doesn't make you a bad person. That doesn't make you less spiritual. And it doesn't mean that you're messing up your reunion. It means that you are learning how to be disciplined in your consciousness. And isn't that what we're supposed to be learning? Dolores Cannon talks about that, right? That Earth is for learning how to manipulate energy, learning how to master energy. Your consciousness is your energy. You're learning how to be disciplined with it. You're learning what's to your benefit and what's not. So as the weeks continue to unfold, we'll keep talking about, different ways to be successful in this journey. But for now, I just want you to take that one practical step, which is to gently refocus yourself into detachment and neutrality. That is what gives your twin the ability to focus on themselves. That's what shines a light to all the things that they've been hiding, that they don't want to face. They must face these things in order to come into union with you. If they are still running, if they're still hiding, if they're still people pleasing, if they're still walking in their south node, refusing to dump out this bag of karma and actually deal with it, then there is no reunion possible, because that's not where you are. You're choosing to face it. The very fact that you're listening to this podcast or even researching these types of things at all means that you are willing to face it. You are doing the work. You got to trust and believe that Spirit is going to have your twin do the work as well in divine timing. Let them feel what they have to feel. It's not always going to feel good, especially for those of us that are locked in. When they hurt, you hurt. When they're anxious and sad and grieving, you feel all of that. And it can really throw you off center during your own day. Keep good energetic hygiene. If you need to detach for a little bit, detach. You don't constantly have to ask the cards what they're feeling. You don't constantly have to be looking at readings. You don't constantly have to be talking to them telepathically. You can truly just take a little bit of time for yourself, especially if they're in the deep throes of an ego death. You consistently checking energy at that time is only going to make it harder and harder and harder for you. Just allow Spirit to do what Spirit needs to do on your behalf as well. Because me seeing that wound earlier, that was deep. That was deeper than I probably ever gone in my healing journey. And I will be 39 this year in December. Sag here. All right, guys. I'll catch you later. Sending so much peace, love, and light. You can make it. You are exactly where you need to be. And you have wonderful things coming for you, babe.